Detroit, the Jets dismantled the Lions, 48-17, on Monday night to open the season 1-0 for the first time since 2015. It was a stunning result for a team viewed by most observers as one of the least talented in the league. Here are some thoughts and observations. 1. Standing in the jubilant post-game locker room, I could not help but think back to the last time the Jets played a regular season game at Ford Field. It was November 24, 2014, and the Jets played the Bills there after a blizzard forced the game to be moved from Buffalo. It was one of the worst performances I have witnessed by the Jets, with them losing 38-3. After the game, Sheldon Richardson basically questioned whether his teammates cared. If there was any doubt the Jets needed to move on from Rex Ryan, it was erased that night. It was a turning point for the organization. 4 years later, Darron Lee was standing just a few feet from where Richardson was. He was talking about how good the 2018 Jets could be, and talking about the confidence this team has. Monday might just be a blip on the radar, or it may be another turning point for the franchise. What if this team is much better than anyone expected? It is just one game, so it is dangerous to make sweeping pronouncements off of it. The Lions could turn out to be a terrible team. Still, Sam Darnold looked the part of franchise quarterback. The Jets' defense looked like it is for real. There is reason to believe here. That being said, another game that was in my mind last night was the 2012 opener, when the Jets destroyed the Bills, 48-28. They scored touchdowns on offense, defense and special teams on that day too. That was the last time they did it before Monday night. It was also the last time they scored 40 points before Monday. The Jets went on to finish 6-10 that season. The 48-point tease was just that. Can these Jets be different? 2. One of my main criticisms of Todd Bowles through his time as head coach has been that I never feel he outcoaches anyone. He did on Monday night. He coached circles around new Lions coach Matt Patricia. The Jets were prepared and executed their game plan perfectly. Defensive players talked after the game about knowing exactly what the Lions were going to run by the formation they lined up in and Matthew Stafford's hand signals. That is coaching. Bowles did a magnificent job getting his team ready to play. He also conceived a great defensive game plan with some wrinkles to confuse the Lions. Anyone catch Leonard Williams playing inside linebacker and make Stafford look ordinary. On offense, the Jets let Darnold play. They did not handcuff him, but they also did not put too much on him. Outside of a terrible end-around to Robby Anderson on 3rd and 1, it was hard to quibble with much that offensive coordinator Jeremy Bates called. Bowles deserves credit for letting his offense function. Defensive-minded head coaches often tell their offensive coordinators to run the ball repeatedly, especially with a young quarterback. Give Bowles and his staff credit. This was a masterful performance. See also Sam Darnold shows why he can be star. Jets have waited for Detroit when Jets 48, Lions 17 was over. Sam. 3. I ran into Sam Darnold's parents on Tuesday morning at the Detroit airport. They were still glowing after watching their son win his first NFL game. "I thought back to something Mike Darnold said after the Jets drafted his son. He told reporters that he used to call a young Sam flatline because he was so stoic. That poise showed itself on Monday night after the first play of the game was an interception return for a touchdown." Darnold has been described as unflappable. He proved it Monday. Teammates said he was smiling on the sideline after the interception and said it is what it is. Amazing composure for a 21-year-old making his first NFL start. 4. Darron Lee has taken a lot of criticism in his first 2 seasons, much of it warranted. But Lee showed that he can be a playmaker. It was not just the 2 interceptions, one for a touchdown. He was all over the field. He had 7 tackles and 3 passes defensed. He blew up a screen pass. Lee showed why the Jets took him in the first round in 2016. Now, Lee has to show he can play like this consistently. Lee improved last year after a shaky start. The Jets' defense would be elevated to another level if Lee can be a consistent force in the middle of it. The website Pro Football Focus has been tough on Lee, which rubs him the wrong way. "I joked with Lee after the game about what his grade would be this week. He elbowed me and smiled. No one will be criticizing him this week." Revealing stat: the Jets were the first team to score 31 points or more in the third quarter of a game.